Hello and welcome back for another video on ARK Survival Ascended. Today's the day that the Unreal Engine 5.5 upgrade has finally dropped, and with that the Astraeos official partner DLC map has dropped a brand new huge map update. And it's been a while since the map dropped any new content since its release on the 14th of February 2025. The map will set you back a sum of $14.99 US or £12.79 in my case, and is the first time we've seen a paid mod map added to the official roster of maps at only 35% complete. Admittedly, it's bigger than most maps at that. So this was the current playable area back in February the 14th, which consists of two very large islands, Corinthos and Fokintos, which were both included in the free version. The paid version added the lava island in the center of the map known as Ferokis, the Iguana, and a few other map features. This update adds a new island, Lemnokis. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. This is the island in the top right corner of the map here. So I'm going to take a wild guess that the map is probably around 50% complete after this big update. There's also other new cool points of interest, and I must admit I'm super hyped to check it all out. I do want to quickly mention that if you are still undecided on the paid version of Astraeos and haven't checked out my Is It Worth It video, you can check out that video also, which will give you a good idea of everything that is new with the paid version over the free version. Link will be in the description of the video and in a pinned comment. Anyway, enough of that, let's get straight into it and check out everything new with the Lemnokis update. And of course, kicking things off with the introduction to the new biomes across Lemnokis. I'm just going to start out with pointing out a few of the isolated islands just off the coast of Lemnokis. In the west, you'll find this small mountainous island, distinguished by its black rocks and glowing blue crystals scaling down the cliff face. I am officially dubbing it Oil Vein Island. There's a bunch of oil veins here where you can stick down your pumps and begin pumping it up. Also a great location to visit for some sweet creatures to tame. I've seen plenty of Ankies and Argentavis spawn in here, so you can tame up both of those, which we all know is a match made in heaven. Moving to the mainland, most of the southwest is made up of white sandy beaches, a biome full of white luscious cliffs, and open greeny grasslands, with waterfalls and rivers flowing through. It's kinda exactly what we expect to see from Astraeos. It does bear similarities to Corinthos, but it also feels a lot different at the same time. The area is absolutely beautiful, offering plenty of building spots that will no doubt make for some very cool base locations. Rich and full of rare resources, beavers going about their day creating their dams just for us to come along and rob them dry, offering a nice variety of creatures to tame around the vast area. And in typical Nakatas fashion, you'll find plenty of signs of past civilization throughout the island, staying true to the Greek theme of the map of course. Lots of hidden temples and ruins to uncover, and lots of architecture to explore, and potentially making these ruins into a place that you could call home. Spawning in the far southeast easy zone, you'll find this beautiful looking region. It looks a little like a mine / quarry to me. There is plenty of small clay humps in this area that you can harvest by hand, so if you're a fan of adobe structures, it's a win-win. Housing some rather interesting selection of creatures that you'd find in the easy spawn zone. Also in the area is a stone house, which is where you can find a disco party going down. Of course, not intentional. There's always bound to be a few bugs with these map updates. Moving inland, slightly up north from the south coast, is a small redwoods biome. Honestly, quite possibly one of the prettiest redwoods I've seen in the game so far. It's not very big, but I don't really think it needs to be anyway. I actually think it's the perfect size. So expect to find all those typical creatures roaming the area, the diabears, the megatheriums, the largest flying coelacanth you've ever seen. What an absolute beast. And phylers. However, they are not found up in the trees ready to pounce, but wandering around on foot. I do kinda love and hate the threat of the phyla clinging to the trees above, but of course that is just me. I'm sure there's plenty of people that will love this change. Heading slightly north and northeast, you'll find many luscious valleys and dense jungles. It really is a stunning area, housing some large lakes that seem to be home to the Gacha, which is a creature that just made its way into Astraeos with this update. So if you're wanting to tame some, it looks like the lakes in the central part of Lemnokis will be your best bet. Also, I'm not sure if it's just me, but waterfalls, lakes, and water in general just looks amazing from my perspective after this engine upgrade. I don't think there's a better looking map out there right now than Astraeos. The new Lemnokis inland is flooded with natural beauty throughout, and this area is the prettiest by far for me. Expect to find plenty more of that hidden Greek themed architecture on your travels. I discovered this ruin on top of this cliff, which would most definitely make for a very cool base spot. We'll now cover the central to northern areas of Lemnokis. I really like the way that the island has been designed as a whole. You have the brighter regions in the south, and the further you head north, the colder and darker everything gets. You'll begin to see much more darker coloured cliffs and mountains throughout the central to northern regions. It's an area full of giant mountains, rich with resources, plenty of awesome creatures to tame, hidden caves, beautiful lakes, rivers, and waterfalls. Loads of quirky rock formations and cliff faces offering some really cool building opportunities. There's this one cave underneath one of the mountains full of resources, but I just love the look of this area. It might actually be one of my favourite areas on the map. The landscape doesn't always have to be bright to stand out. Speaking of standing out, I must apologise for that one flickering mountain in the background. I have no idea why, but the mountains in the background near the snow biome are just constantly flickering all the time. Kinda ruin my scenic shots, man. Honestly, there's probably too much in this area to properly showcase, so I really found it difficult on which locations I wanted to record. I do like to think I did the area justice, and that you can get a good idea of how different the landscape looks as opposed to the southern areas of Lemnokis. Also, you'll most likely be able to find your typical snow biome creatures throughout the northern regions, but there is a wide variety of fauna throughout once again. A couple of ruins and abandoned encampments around the beaches, trireme shipwrecks as expected from Astraeos, with some cheeky little boxes that you could hit with a pick to potentially win another pick. While we now make our way furthest north, this is where you'll find your snow biome of Lemnokis. As you all probably know by now, I am a right snow biome fanatic. The temperature though, man, what's man gotta do to get a cold snow biome up in here? It's 18 degrees in the daytime, and I'm out here sunbathing. I was kind of hoping for a hint of that Jotunheim temperature. I know Jotunheim is a little extreme temperature-wise, but anyway, I'd even take like 50% colder than Jotunheim. I've been riding my creatures around butt naked, because the atmosphere just feels like a cozy blanket to me.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
So yeah, I don't think I was ever freezing cold once, even at nighttime. So who knows, maybe that is intentional, but I still can't get my head around how warm it is. I must admit the snow biome is a little smaller than I would have expected. It looks decent and does have some very pretty POIs on the outskirts. I would have personally preferred all the green grasslands below to be covered in snow too, and then it would probably be perfect. I'm not hating, I'm just expressing my honest opinion on what I see right now. Of course, not everyone's going to agree with my opinion, so please don't hate me. As always, you can expect to find all those typical beauties that you'll find in any other snow biome in ARK. Also, yes, there is snow owls, which I'm sure everyone is glad to see, and also the managama, which I'm sure a lot will not be happy to see. I don't mind a bit of mana in my life, so I'm pretty happy to see them also inhabiting the area. The final area I'd like to showcase is the Maelstrom. This area is beautiful and can be found in the ocean south of Lemnokis. It definitely feels like the center's floating island has had a big influence on this area. Also, I don't know if anyone has ever played the mod map Tania Stella from ARK Survival Evolved, but the base of the Maelstrom does remind me of those areas that fill up with water over time. Here you will find some nice aberrant creatures inhabiting the area, including a common spawn for aberrant Spinos and also the fan favorite Karkanos. A cave does lie behind the waterfall, which is a relatively large cave. The cave looks really nice. You'll find plenty of creepy crawlies and slivery suckers inhabiting this one. In the island at the base of the Maelstrom, you'll find plenty of these giant seaweed looking rocks. These can be harvested for a decent amount of cementing paste. And I know I said it already, but wow. The Maelstrom is by far the prettiest location on the map for me. A sight for sore eyes, some might say. More Lemnokis features include a large fertile Aberration cave. You'll find the cave entrance in the far southeast, near the coast up on a cliff. And well, let's just say Nakatus knows how to make a better looking green zone than Wildcard. This area is lovely. None of that ugly flickering shadows or horrible lighting that you see in Aberration. Finally, the green zone is a pleasant area to explore. Expect to find a few of those typical green zone creatures, including aberrant parasaurs, raptors, bulb dogs, and even the Cosmo can be found hanging out from time to time. Green zone resources including green gems, plant species Z, and also gas veins are plentiful down here. There are a wide variety of new caves to explore, ranging from small caves to medium caves to large and even massive sized caves, ranging from snowy glacier caves, dark and mysterious aberration themed caves, underwater caves, PvP friendly caves, or at least I like to think they look good for PvP. I guess anything with a smaller entrance is a little more PvP friendly. All the caves are looking great. Some are very well lit for the most part, boasting some pleasant natural lighting within, and even the dark caves, although can be relatively dark, still feel like like they have been designed in a way that with a couple of torches or lights could be awesome spots to build. Once again, there's too many new caves to really showcase in one video, but if you wanted to know where to find all these caves that I'm showing off in the video, Rastlok has just recently uploaded a video showing the locations of some of the best caves, so I highly recommend checking that one out. I'll leave a link to his video in the description of my video and in a pinned comment, or you can just ask me for the coordinates and I'll do my best to reply. New Astral Variants have been added, one being the Astral Direwolf, which I could just pick up in my Mammoth Tusks by the way, so I'm going to assume that's not intentional. And usually if you can do that, then you can pick it up with a flyer too, so that'll probably get changed. Anyway, these can be killed for loot as expected, and is stated in the patch notes to drop loot equivalent to the yellow ice cave loot crates. The Astral Mammoth can also be found roaming the world. As expected, a pretty tanky adversary, but relatively easy to beat with a creature that deals knockback. The Astral Mammoth can be killed for loot equivalent to the red loot crates from the ice cave, so you won't be short of options when looking to farm loot on Lemnokis. The final feature of Lemnokis, which I deliberately saved until last, is of course going to be the new double mini boss fight. Be prepared for mass butchering of names. Caledonius and Eromanthium will be your new challenging adversaries that you will have to face during your journey through Astraeos. You can find the summoning terminal directly in the central north of Lemnokis, in the flat grassland region that resides in between the two snow areas. Summoning requirements include 10 Pharazino Claws, 25 Corrupted Nodules, 2 Corrupted Hearts, 5 Fire Wyvern Talons, and 5 Poison Wyvern Talons. So not too bad really. You will, however, have to be well prepared for this one, with both bosses typically having around a whopping 2 million health combined to dwindle down, while dealing extremely high damage and attacks too. The one will inflict the Inflamed debuff, able to drain the target's health very quickly, while the other sprays out toxic gas right out of its bum, farting all over the place. Blech. This fart gas is so potent that it does appear to be able to instantly KO survivors if you get too close. But just in case you are wondering, wearing a gas mask does seem to keep the player immune to those poo particles. So yeah, it's a very challenging boss fight, at least from first impressions. So you've gotta love to see it. I went in on a perfect tamed Carcharodontosaurus with no blood rage, just to test the waters, and I got absolutely steamrolled in a matter of seconds. I did kill them both with cheats of course, not in GCM, just to see what we can unlock from killing them both, and it does appear that they do not unlock any tech grams, but you will receive a ton of tasty loot and also a stack of 30 element from each, so 60 element in total from killing both. I'm actually really impressed with these mini bosses, to be honest. A great new addition to Astraeos. I'm really looking forward to seeing what strategies people come up with to beat them. So to quickly summarize, Lemnokis offers a wide variety of new, fresh exploration value. It looks great, by far my favorite area on the map so far, and it seems to run relatively well. I did crash around 6 times during the making of this video, so that is quite a lot more than I did back before the Astraeos update, but it did take me around 7 hours to record all this footage, so I guess that isn't too bad considering I'm zooming around in GCM for the most part, and I'm not really playing the game legitimately. There is of course a few issues, but nothing too game breaking. The mass flickering on the snow mountains is the main issue for me. It does really hurt my eyes, but like I said, it's probably an easy fix, and knowing Nakatus, he'll be on those bug fixes as soon as possible. With all that being said, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future holds for Astraeos. If the next update is anything like this one, it really is shaping up to become one of the best maps we've seen in ARK for many years. It is definitely worth the price tag with all the content that is currently on offer, especially considering the animated series pack costs the same price, which is only skins at the end of the day. I must admit I was very skeptical when Astraeos was first made into an official partner DLC at 35% completion, mainly due to the lack of new content as opposed to the free version, but there is now plenty on offer with this new update. It's evident the amount of hard work that's been put into it, and that just about wraps up the video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, goodbye.